Matt Bernier, Dan Illman taking a look back at the Grade 3 Noble Damsel at Belmont Park Saturday afternoon, one of two graded stakes races that were run at Belmont Saturday. And it wasn't a big field, but we had some familiar names. And really, this race came down to who can still perform at their absolute best and maybe who is on the downswing. They break from the gate. One of the horses we thought was basically one of the horses to beat if she ran her race was Celestine. And I think you and I are in agreement. It seems like her best races come when she's forwardly placed, and right now they have to kind of take back, or they chose to let Sassy Little Lyla go.
I understand what Jockey Ortiz Jr. did right there. Sassy Little Lyla is a speed horse. Celestine was going to get involved in a duel if she stayed where she would, so take her off the pace and sit second. Here, I don't understand the move, and I think this is probably being written to instructions. Horse is going to move up to the outside. That's the 4 time in motion. And Arad is going to just pull Celestine back off of the pace. I think that was a mistake. I think Celestine is better when she is up close to the pace, where time in motion is, where Sassy Little Lyla is. She was just given too much to do here.
Time in motion was another horse that needed to prove that she could still fire an A game. She goes forward and she pushes Sassy Little Lyla a little bit on the front end. You got an opening quarter mile, 23 and 3, half mile, 46 and 3. In between horses, or in behind horses, I should say. Malibu Stacy a little bit pace compromised or class compromised. The horse that you want to keep an eye on is the one coming up from the rear. That's off limits for Chad Brown and Joel Rosario. And at this point right now, she looks like she's moving sweetly.
Moving sweetly, the pace really quickened the middle part of this race. And I think that helped off limits, who was able to sit all by herself. You see that Joel Rosario is just going to angle out, and from here it's merely hands and heels. The horses on the lead have sort of battled themselves into defeat. Sassy Little Lyla maybe on the downswing, as you mentioned in the open, but look at this devastating turn of foot from off limits.
Never really gets out of first gear here. She just cruises, comes in that final quarter 22 and 2, and she gets the job done here in the Grade 3 Noble Damsel. It's another good filly for Chad Brown. She wins this race and she pays $5.40. Sassy Little Lyla, the pace setter, you know what? No disgrace sticking around to run second. She finishes and gets $3.50 on the place end. Celestine third, $2.50 to show you're exact. It comes back $8.40 for $1. Off limits, again, it seems like one of these, I mean, Chad has a million good fillies in his barn that run on turf, but this filly in particular, it seems like it's taken her a little while to fully get the game going, get everything situated. She earns a 104 buyer. This was almost one of those races. Sure, she'd hinted at ability. I never anticipated she was going to do this.
I didn't expect it either. Listen, she got a really nice setup when the pace quickened up and she was able to relax by herself. But the way she finished, that's legitimate graded stakes quality, as you see her just roaring away in the stretch. And what Chad has, I guess he's able to do, because he has so many horses and so many well-heeled owners, he's able to give horses like Off Limits chances in the allowance ranks, to get confidence, to win races, as we saw she did at Saratoga leading up to this race. She is right now in career best form. I'll be very interested to see what's next.
And it's going to be fascinating, because you look at this time of year, here there may not be a ton of options left, but with a filly like this, you know the mile is no issue. Chad's not afraid to ship. You wonder if races like the Matriarch come into play down at Del Mar going into early December, because right now she's just in very, very good form. Obviously, again, the 104 buyer and the 124 time form US rating. As far as the rest of the field is concerned, Sassy Little Lyla, she's a nice horse. She goes out there. We know her game. She's speed. She's going to go out there for Brad Cox. To me, I think she is a notch below true Grade 1 or Grade 2 caliber, but that doesn't mean that she can't win races.
Oh, no, absolutely. And her speed puts her in good stead in these sort of races. When Celestine backed off, Julian Letbrew had to have a big smile on his face, and that smile probably turned into a frown really quickly when Time in Motion and Jose Lezcano hustled up out there to push Sassy Little Lyla. She was very game to finish second in here. I thought it was a good effort, but like you, I'm not sure she's the same horse that we saw in the Just a Game earlier this year, where she was able to make the front. She battled very gamely. I wonder if that race took a little bit of the steam out of Sassy Little Lyla.
The two horses that we kind of thought needed to prove that they could still step at this sort of level, the third and fourth place finishers, Celestine and Time of Motion. Let's start off with Celestine. Celestine is worth her weight in gold as a broodmare. She is owned by some major connections over in Europe already. I wonder, do we see her again, and if so, where do you think?
I still think she deserves another chance to show that she can run. She was taken out of her game here. When she won the 2016 Just the Game, as we mentioned earlier on, she was trained by Belmont at the time, and she was up close to the pace, and she really broke that race open very early. She was transferred to Christophe Clement prior to this year. The Clement barn, one of the best in the world, but they provide an emphasis on getting horses to relax in behind and finish, more of a European style. I'm not sure that style is Celestine's style. I think it's too early to give up on her. She showed some try in the stretch to finish. I'd love to see her in a race where they just let her roll early.
Is Time and Motion the definition of a horse that just did not train on from 3 to 4?
I think that's probably fair to say. And Time and Motion was one of the better 3-year-old filly turf horses in the whole country in 2016 for a top trainer in Jimmy Toner. But you see her races, she just seems to lack that pop. She still has the tactical speed.
Yeah.
She still has the ability to put herself in position to win races. She just hasn't been able to seal the deal. And at this point, you have to wonder, is she a graded stakes caliber filly? I'm not sure she is.
It's crazy to think that Off Limits might not be in the top 7 or 8 of Chad's good turf fillies, considering he's just got a million of them. But guess what? She is rock solid. She earns a 104 buyer, winning the Noble Damsel at Belmont Park.